Bro, I've actually had a generational fumble.
Tell me.
You know Heather from Harcourts?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, I've been trying to get her on Agent Academy for like 2 or 3 months. And then she's just gone absolutely viral over the last couple of weeks. You're the marketing guy. What do you reckon she's gotten right to be able to go so viral over the last couple of weeks?
I haven't seen like the last couple of weeks. I saw that she was on the news. Is there something like a particular video or what's
No,
going
there's
crazy?
like heaps of them. So there's people in America that are like impersonating her.
Did you have a take, or did you just want to ask me what my take was?
No, I actually had a take. So I went through and did some research on her posts over the last couple of years. So she's done 1,200 posts on her Instagram. She did her first Heather from Harcourts. I'm not even going to try to impersonate it. On the 20th of December last year. And before that, it was all just listed, just sold, and testimonials. And then this year, she's done 200 posts with almost all of them being the Heather from Harcourts. And I'm just like, I think 3 things. The first one is the energy. The second is her wit. And then the consistency, like, you know, that's almost one a day, or it is pretty much one a day at the moment. So I don't know. It's just this attractiveness. You know, people love good energy. Energy breeds, good energy builds a vibe. And I think she can just portray that energy so well over the camera.
It's kind of nuts that she didn't like start this 4 years ago, that it's been that recent, and she's just been consistent with obviously posting. She's obviously tried something, it's worked, doubled down, and then now like she's got this kind of cult following. I don't think I've ever skipped a Heather from Harcourt's video on Instagram.
Do you think it's something that agents can replicate? Because there's a few in Australia. You know, there's Jaden Niparis from Caboolture in Ray White. There's Jason Yang. Like there's a few of these personalities that have really been able to put their take on just that introduction to a property video, or even just, you know, some random videos. Do you think there's a little bit of a system or a playbook that other agents can be tapping into here?
I mean, I think getting 1 million followers on social media shouldn't be the goal for any real estate agent who's selling locally in a regional town in New Zealand. I think that the goal should be you walk into an appraisal and people go, oh, I feel like I already met you. So, I mean, I agree people should double down on their personality. I don't think you need to go viral or have some kind of super outlandish, like, you know, type A personality or quirk or sing, dance to be able to get attention, because I mean the reality is a good marketing campaign with, you know, a good pricing, you know, strategy is going to sell homes in New Zealand. So I think that would probably be people's end goal. I think is it Naval who said if you can be rich or famous, try be rich and see if that does it for you, because I think that a lot of people do chase fame, but secretly deep down they just want financial independence. So I absolutely think there's tons to learn. Even that story of her not saying Heather from Harcourts until, you said December of last year, that's like 7 months to go from where she was to where she is now.
Yeah, so impressive. Do you not think that the top of funnel market that she's building helps her in her business?
Oh, I totally think it does help. Well, more eyeballs on her and more eyeballs on her listings is always going to be a good thing. I just think, like, whether or not this is true, the way you get it is the way you keep it. So if you get attention by, doing things like entertainment, then you might feel like your business is only built on those things that you have to do. And then I think it's a bit of a hamster on a hamster wheel situation, because I know some creators locally here in Wellington that built their brands based on entertainment, and then now they just have to post. Like, you know, if they don't post, they lose momentum. So, I mean, I would say if you were to choose one of the two, you know, it's like door knocking, cold calling, prospecting, or I guess, you know, doing social media. I'd actually, weirdly enough for us to be saying, but I'd probably double down on the dollar productive stuff first. But I think that an agent who's doing content on social media and loving it, like actually enjoying it, like that's what you can tell from her. is the big disclaimer of what I'm saying is that it's her and she's enjoying it. Like, that's the real win.
Well, we spoke about this the other day in terms of bringing your authenticity through to socials, because, you know, you've got this kind of natural wit and, you know, kind of cheekiness about your socials, and that's probably naturally you as well. Well, I just can't portray that. Like, when I try to do the funny stuff, it's just not right. Either I'm just not a funny guy, or it's probably that. Like, but my socials are so much, you know, I guess more serious. And you said that that's okay. Like, we're not trying to attract the same types of people. Like, the fact that you are a certain way and that's how you portray yourself online is actually a good thing.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's tons of agents who aren't comfortable on video, and that, I mean, honestly, some of the silent killers of like real estate are the people who would never pick up a phone and do social media. I just think it's the best leveraged marketing activity to do right now is video. So, I think for Heather, like, what the other lesson I think is just that consistency. Like, last man standing is the game for real estate. So, yeah. And I don't know her context. She could have had a significant business before she started doing the social thing, and really, you know, it's gone crazy from there. But my feel is that, like, she's franchise owner, so she's doing well in her business, and now she's just got this, like, really significant, like, if you get audience, then you can funnel it in different ways. So that's the skill, is to firstly get it. So I think that's awesome that she's done that.
And she's done so well, like you said earlier, just that being able to get the win, but then double down on it. Like, so many people get a win, but then don't want to stay in that lane because it's just not where they want to be. But it's like she's been able to get the win and then just double down, and she's created this, you know, viral following from it. Yeah.
It's pretty, like, we haven't really seen that done in New Zealand before until her. Like, there's plenty of characters in Oz, but no, I think when you create shareable content, it's probably the other thing. Like, agents are really good at creating like sales-based content or opt-in content where they want someone to make a decision, but instead of the output of the content being coming to an open home or a viewing or getting a property information pack, the output of the content is just share this with your friends. Like, that's probably something a lot of people overlook, because you go on, like me, I go on social media to be entertained, like whether it's to doom scroll or I'm doing some research for our agents to see what people are doing. It's like the first 3 seconds you're going there to get something straight away, and I think that's quite cool. Huh?
Yeah.
That actually kind of segues a little bit. Actually, not at all. But Ryan's released their 2026 finalists, and I just wanted to. Did you see any of those people on the list?
No, I didn't.
What I think was funny about that was nothing about the people, like, in the agencies. All good. Like, this happens every single year. Congratulations to those people. I was just going to ask you: do you think awards actually mean anything for vendors? What's your first thought when you get asked that question?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm real stuck, because my first thought goes to it builds in authority in terms of you're recognised outside of your own direct group. But then I'm also like, just the same as every bakery has the best pie in New Zealand. It's like, like, how did you get it? Who voted for it? And based on what? Because you can do the most amount of sales in the country, but if you have bad customer service comparatively to someone doing 20 sales a year, but they have a white glove service, it's like, you know, what's it actually based on? Yeah, I would rather, if I had to choose it or not have it, I would rather have it in my profile.
Yeah, totally. I guess Rate My Agent is probably one of those awards that maybe you hang on to a little bit tighter, just because it is, I guess, testimonial or review based. But yeah, I just thought, like, I mean, for us in our agency, agent recognition is definitely something that we're talking about quite often, and it's a tough one, because you want it to be like performance based, merit based, but then you actually do genuinely value people for just coming on the journey and being interested and sticking to it each day. I mean, one of the things that I was thinking about is how you, I guess, incentivize accountability, and how a lot of agents, like them getting a tap on the back for being the rookie of the year, and like their bottom line is still really tough, and they're splitting 50-50 with their agency. Like it's like a little bit contrasting. Whereas I think if you've got an incentive structure that has recognition, but is also like, look, mate, if you hit 30 cold calls today, like, and then that builds, and then we're actually giving you, I guess, recognition based on some of that input instead of just the output.
Yeah, I think recognition is entirely personality based, because there's some people that I speak to that love the awards nights, and then there's other people that couldn't think of anything worse. There's some people that really buy into, you know, this feeling of the wider group, and there's some people that just want to do their own thing. Some people like the recognition based on their outputs, and other people actually need the recognition based on their inputs. Like, also depending on where you are in your career, I think is where you need to focus on what. Like, if you're early in your career, you shouldn't be focusing on your results. It should just be focused purely on your discipline to go and do the tasks in front of you. Like, for example, my little boy who's 4.5, he loves playing tennis, and I just like give him so much praise every time he picks up the racket and wants to go and play, because it's not about how well he hits the ball, it's not about how much he's improving, but it's just about the fact that he wants to go and do it. And I think for some agents, when they start in the industry, it's the same thing. Like, don't focus, if you're doing calls, how many are turning into appraisals and how many are turning into listings. It's like, just praise the fact that you did 30 calls today, or you did 150 calls over the week. Like, you're doing the discipline that will eventually lead you to the skill set, which will lead you to the result. So I think it's also personality based as well.
Yeah, so good. What's your next thing?
I've actually got kind of two marketing topics for today. There's another guy in Aussie, David Pearce, and he had some really interesting billboards. Did you see it?
No.
Okay, so the first one is, it's not a billboard, but it's on his social profile. He's been running for a little while now. It's Trust Me, I'm a Real Estate Agent series.
Oh, okay, yeah, I saw that one you shared. That's cool.
Yeah, and then these are some of his popular billboards. One is, we chose David because we hated him the least.
Nice.
So I just thought that was classic. Ugly agents need work too. That was a big one. And then the last one was, need an upgrade to your location? Call the agent who's next to the bins and in the car park by the train line. It was like,
nice.
I think he's just really playing on the fact of real estate unfortunately has a low trust, and he's just playing into the fact of, I'm on the side of the people thinking that it's a low trust industry.
Yeah, like agents should be able to go, verified as 2026 Wellington agent with the least amount of complaints, or like, it's funny because you make yourself trustworthy by pointing out the parts that aren't stereotypically trustworthy about the industry.
But what's your actual thoughts on that? Because, for people that don't know you, you're trying to portray yourself in a way that if they come into contact with you, you're seen, you're seen a certain way. And are you of the opinion that it's like, there's always going to be people out there that don't like you anyway, so at least you're kind of choosing a niche and those people that will align with it?
Yeah, I mean, if you're marketing to everyone, you're marketing to no one. I remember when I was an agent, I put on the corner of of my street a signboard that said, "Selling your house, sell it with house." And it's like, okay, well, play on words, sure. Like, I'm not doing anything for anyone. I'm not punching through. It's like, like there's almost no point to have that signboard. And it got reported by probably another real estate agent, so it didn't last long. But yeah, I think that, like, sense of humor. Like, I would expect to rock up to an appraisal with that guy and have a laugh. Like, and if I didn't, I would. That's also true. Like, I'd be like, oh wait, your signboard's so funny, but like, you're this real, like, I don't know, just bland dude. Like, I would have thought, marketing should be you pushed out. So I would love to live in a world where I'm picturing him cracking up, writing that down in an email and sending it to the signboard company. Yeah, like that would be awesome. Because I think for me, I've also struggled a bit with, like, I guess, our here brand, we talk all the time, like be a place agents want to work. And obviously me and you sometimes don't take things too seriously. And then sometimes it's like, oh, imposter syndrome. Like I own an agency. I want agents to come and work for me and be stoked to be here. And feel like, you know, we do take their business seriously and all that. And then it's funny how all of that fades away when you're talking like one-to-one with someone. Like that guy who would have that guy in for an appraisal. It'd just be like ice broken straight away. Like, oh, hey mate, like, you know?
Yeah.
There's what you think, like, because no one cares. Like that's the first thing. No one is watching you, listening to you, cares what you're doing, aside from your family, like pretty much. They're all consumed with themselves. And so often I think agents get real consumed with like their brand and their like image to the market and their reputation. And those are important things that you don't want to be red flags. But in reality, like someone going around and not being the biggest fan of you is not going to be the end of the world, because for the most part, if you're a good person, you're going to come off really well in person.
Because there's a difficulty between like the agency and the agent wanting to do certain marketing. Like Bayside Property is his business, so he can kind of go and get it wrong and it only affects him. But if you're a part of a larger network, I remember one of my first for sale signs, I did something similar. It was just after one of the first COVID lockdowns, and it was this home's so nice, you'll be hoping for another lockdown or something along those lines. And like, yeah, it got called down like
pandemic.
Yeah, like it was no good. But for 80% of agents that work at a traditional franchise, like how do you think they're able to create some cut through and stand out using something like David's, marketing to stand out, but then also like within, the boundaries of how they're able to kind of push?
Yeah. I mean, one tactic is to just film yourself talking for 30 seconds and then post it. Like, how can you get more authentic marketing than you just like going unedited? And I think sometimes like Caleb Griffian and his team are such good examples of them having a very precise, clean, like a professional brand, whereas at the same time they're exercising their personality and their humor and their office dynamic, all at the same time as, not bringing down or tearing down the brand. I think those are two things that can live in harmony. I think that sometimes that you should be like a stallion, right? Like you'd rather be pulled back than pushed forward. And sometimes being a part of a traditional agency, you should just push it. Like, and I think agencies, Ray White, professionals, Harcourts, Baileys, like we're seeing a lot more micro brands. So like a sales team branding themselves, and then you have to like look at the fine print to tell it's X, Y, and Z agency. And I think that's because people are waking up to the fact that like social media, marketing, personality, personal brand is like the way of the future. So I'm not surprised that that's happening more.
This is the last point we can stick to before we go on to your next thing that you wanted to share. But I read something this morning that if you're looking to create a sugar brand, how do you stand out? Like if you walk into Pack and Save and there's 20 bags of sugar, like how do you stand out? People talk about, this is the cleanest sugar, it's the purest sugar, whatever it may be. And the idea was to create some kind of tagline or slogan that just completely blocked out a whole bunch of people, but allowed you to just focus on a niche. And one of the examples they gave was the sugar that bakers use. So the fact is, sugar can be used for heaps of stuff, but there's a really good portion of people that would buy sugar specifically for baking. And it kind of creates this authoritative figure where it's like, this is what bakers use. Like, I don't know, there's something so small in the fact of, similar to real estate, you're kind of providing the same service. Is there better and worse agents? Absolutely. But the fact is, you need to be able to brand yourself and market yourself in a certain way that when people look from the outside looking in, they're able to, distinguish a difference to get you, those kind of first couple of wins. So I just thought that was really interesting. Like, don't talk about premium, don't talk about the best. like creating kind of a little micro niche for yourself in your
I like that.
own personal marketing.
Be honest, what are you buying sugar for if not for baking though?
Yeah, good question.
I guess a cup of tea or something. No, I mean, there's way you could just whittle it all the way down. The sugar that like home bakers use, or the sugar that kids use, or I'm stretching now, but like
we put the sugar in sugar daddy, like.
Well, I think what it is though is it's like a fresh approach to real estate. It's like that's kind of the equivalent where it's like, oh, you think you're doing something that no one's ever done.
Yeah.
Whereas the boss that you're annoyed at probably did the same thing when he was an agent. It's like, I mean, I think I shared this thing in the Only Bulletin, which is a newsletter that goes to the Only brands, and it was like, it's like you want to do something that only you can do. Say something only you can say. And one of the points was, this whole idea was just about copywriting, right? Anyway, so my favorite slogan, I'll raise you this one, is from Carlo Greek Yogurt, and theirs is so thick you can eat it with a fork. And I just thought, like, that visual of the ability to just go and test it right now, like, and then maybe to have like a budget brand, and then have that one and go, oh yeah, that is right. Like this one just falls off the fork. This one I can just it stays together. Anyway, I think for agents, like looking for a point of difference, it's always going to be so hard when you're thinking about, I guess, things that the other Harcourts agents won't be able to offer, because then you're just going to get shot down. Like if you said free commission or free marketing, and you're not allowed to do that. So it might not be those tangible things, but it is like, the agent that you would let your mum sell their house with, or, it's like, I think you can do a bit more storytelling around your personality. I love that though. I'm really into like the copywriting phase at the moment. There's a podcast Mitch and I listen to, My First Million, and Sam Parr's huge on it.
Well, even the fact of like, people use AI to go and create their advertising copy, but like the way that they use it is the way that everyone else would be using it, and they expect that that's going to allow them to have a different result. It's like you've got to have this really unique perspective on how you view yourself, how you view the properties to stand out. Because if you're doing the same, entering of a prompt into AI, every other agent in the area could be doing something similar.
Yeah, that's so true. Okay, my last thing, and this is like just a random one. So I'm currently trying to buy my neighbour's house, and the funny thing is I was a real estate agent for 16 months. I've been in and around real estate for 5 years now. I feel like I'd have a really good grasp on how selling and buying a home works until I started to actually negotiate, look at comparable sales, try and figure out like what is a range, essentially try and sell and buy a private. And man, I'm just like, AI, people think it's going to take real estate jobs. Like, you've just got no idea how much value you have if you're a real estate agent. Like, people bag on this industry so much, but go and do that when you're trying to sell or buy a house and you don't agree on the price. Like, I think there's an Australian reporter or something who went around, and this is like, I think it's early 2000s. Anyway, this is like a viral interview. He goes, what do you think of real estate agents? Oh, they're crap, that's shady. And then he goes, so if you were selling your house for $750 and someone offered you $700, how would you get them to come up? And the guy's like, well, I guess I just ask, how much he wants it. Okay. It's like, bro, that skill set of bridging that gap between hard and a rock place. Anyway, I didn't really have any hot takes here. I was just like, it's just actually just such an acquired skill. Real estate agents, especially those who are able to do that really well, the negotiating part, it's such a special skill to have.
Man, do you know what's actually really funny? I had a conversation earlier this week with a friend of a friend, and I was saying that we've just started a real estate agency, blah, blah, blah. He's like, isn't it a really bad time to be an agent, or isn't it a really bad time to be starting an agency? Like, isn't the market really shit? And I was like, yeah. And he just couldn't understand the fact of starting a business or starting in an industry when times are tough is going to be your greatest asset for the future. I was trying to explain, like, hey, the fact that we can work with agents, we can refine skill sets, we have a thicker skin, we create this really strong attitude to optimism and focusing on what we can improve on. Like, whenever the market does soften, we're going to be positioned to really ride that wave. And he just couldn't wrap his head around, like, man, like, nah, shouldn't you have just done it, like, wait a couple of years until things are a bit easier?
Yeah.
And I had to like,
interesting.
I had to ditch the convo, man. It was winding me up a little bit. But like, I don't think people actually understand, to your point, like, tough times are actually great only if you view them as an opportunity to improve your skill set for the future.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I talked to someone recently. Yeah. They were like, oh, I'm not looking to sell. And I was like, oh, but we're not even in Wellington and I'm not even an Asian. Like, real estate has that kind of like effect on people, I think. Either they really lean into it or they go, oh, nah.
It's kind of like an MLM, like multi-level marketing. Like, some people are like, as soon as they hear the word, it's like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about, but it's not for me.
Sweet.
See you next week, bro. Good chat.
Bro, great chat. That was awesome. That was my favorite part of my year.